Thank you. Welcome and thank you so much for joining us on the Camnet News Desk today, Monday, the 3rd of August in the year 2026. Let's now take a look at the news headlines. ZAFOD warns disability inclusion lags ahead of 2026 elections. Police hunt NYIMBA man accused of raping and impregnating stepdaughter. Economist warns BOZ liquidity boost may bypass private sector. In international news, 30 African countries included in permanent visa bond scheme. In sports news, Copper Queens shift focus to Malawi clash after Nigeria defeat. Join us for these and many more stories after the break.
Every celebration, there's a simple choice being made. To belong, count me in. In moments of love and promises for tomorrow, count me in. At the checkout line, in the middle of an ordinary day, a reminder that every number matters. Count me in. Across our communities, our streets, the same message finds us. Count me in. From the everyday worker to the hands shaping our future every day, the call is the same. Count me in. Around the traditions that bring us together, the message becomes impossible to ignore. Count me in.
This election season, your vote counts. Get your NRC and voters card ready.
Count me in.
Before 2022, millions of Zambian children stayed home because school was unaffordable for many families. Today, things are much better. No more tuition fees, no more PTA fees, and no more examination fees. More than 2.5 million children are back in class across the country. Schools are feeding our children and classrooms are full again. And with the Enhanced Constituency Development Fund, more classrooms are being built, more desks are being made, more teachers are being hired. Because Bali cares. He has delivered this for all children across Zambia. Because free education is not just a policy. It is a promise to every Zambian child. A promise that poverty will not decide their future. A promise delivered. On the 13th of August 2026, vote for Hakainde Hichilema as President of the Republic of Zambia. And let's continue to move Zambia forward together.
Camnet TV main news now showing on Top Star channel 106, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on the Kenstream app. With the main news in detail, I'm Tapelo Joe Smata. The Zambia Federation of Disability Organizations, ZAFOD, says Zambia has made steady progress in preparations for the 2026 general elections, but warns that persons with disabilities continue to face significant barriers to full participation in the electoral process. In its first 3 reporting rounds covering the period from June 29 to July 20, ZAFOD found that the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, had advanced election preparations through the recruitment and training of election officials, logistical planning, and stakeholder engagement. The organization reported that 77% of its long-term observers recorded ECZ measures aimed at improving accessibility for persons with disabilities. ZAFOD also noted encouraging progress in voter education, with 95% of observers reporting ECZ-supported voter education activities by the 3rd reporting round. The organization said persons with disabilities actively participated as voter education facilitators and participants, while civil society organizations, faith-based groups, and the media also contributed to voter awareness campaigns. However, the Federation said disability-inclusive voter education continues to lag behind general voter education. It found that only about 60% of observers witnessed demonstrations on the use of Braille ballot jackets and accessible voter education materials, while sign language interpretation featured in just 47% of voter education activities. The report further revealed that disability issues remain largely absent from political campaigns despite moderate participation by persons with disabilities. According to ZAFOD, disability-focused campaign messages appeared in only 1 in 3 monitored districts, while 8 monitored districts recorded no disability-focused campaign messaging during the reporting period. ZAFOD also expressed concern over electoral integrity, reporting that 60% of its observers recorded incidents involving the distribution of money, food, or other commodities as electoral inducements. The mission additionally documented isolated cases of abusive language directed at persons with disabilities and women participating in politics. The organization called on the ECZ to strengthen disability-inclusive voter education by expanding accessible materials, increasing demonstrations on the use of Braille ballot jackets, and ensuring the consistent provision of qualified sign language interpreters. It also urged political parties to comply with the Electoral Code of Conduct, avoid electoral inducements and hate speech, and meaningfully include persons with disabilities in campaigns and leadership structures. ZAFOD said it will continue monitoring the electoral process and issue periodic updates as Zambia moves closer to the general elections. We now go to Eastern Province, where police have launched a manhunt for a NYIMBA man accused of raping and impregnating his 32-year-old stepdaughter who is living with epilepsy. Eastern Province Police Commissioner Robertson Mwemba said the victim reported the case to police yesterday, alleging that her stepdad, Brasho Lungu, sexually abused her on an unknown date in June 2026. Mr. Mwemba said the victim, an epileptic patient, fell ill outside the family home and lost consciousness. When she regained consciousness, she found herself inside her stepfather's house in the sitting room. He said the woman later suspected she had been sexually assaulted after discovering semen on her private parts. According to Mr. Mwemba, she confronted the suspect, but he did not respond. Mr. Mwemba said the victim then informed her mother about the alleged abuse, but was allegedly advised not to tell anyone. He said 2 months later, after missing her menstrual period, the woman realized she was pregnant and again confronted her stepfather, accusing him of taking advantage of her while she was unconscious. Mr. Mwemba said the suspect again remained silent. The police commissioner said the victim informed her mother about the pregnancy and was allegedly told she was free to report the matter wherever she wished. Mr. Mwemba said the woman subsequently reported the incident to police and was issued with a medical report form to facilitate medical examination. He said the suspect remains at large and police have launched a search to bring him to justice while investigations continue. The Bank of Zambia's decision to cut the statutory reserve ratio (SRR) by 500 basis points has created a new lending environment, but economists warn that the additional liquidity may not reach the productive sectors needed to drive long-term economic growth. Economic analyst Kelvin Chisanga says the policy releases significant kwacha liquidity into the banking system, increasing commercial banks' capacity to lend. However, Mr. Chisanga cautions that the measure alone does not guarantee that businesses, manufacturers, and small enterprises will benefit from the increased availability of credit. Mr. Tsanga says much of the new liquidity could instead be directed towards financing the Food Reserve Agency (FRA) maize purchases and other government-related agricultural operations, especially following the country's anticipated bumper maize harvest of about 4.9 million metric tons. He further notes that commercial banks may continue to favor investments in treasury bills and government bonds because they offer lower risk and competitive returns compared to lending to private businesses. According to Mr. Tsanga, such a trend could increase credit concentration risk by directing more financing towards sovereign-linked activities while limiting access to credit for small and medium-sized enterprises, manufacturers, and other productive private sector businesses.
We have seen that there has been a reduction on the Central Reserve ratio, which was standing at 26% to 21% now, which is by any technical means, working to reduce the burden of holding up capital in reserves. So this basically creates a space that should be able to work out on onward lending. So the move is important because it releases more of kwacha liquidity in the banking system and gives commercial banks greater capacity and opportunity to lend, meaning what we should be able to see in the case that we'll be able to build up more liquidity, which should be able to be much more available for some of the business undertaking and interplay. However, the big question also can remain to say that how much money has been unlocked and where will this money go? So these are the ethical understanding of what we should be able to put in the place. At a time when Zambia is expanding or expecting to have a bumper harvest of around 4.9 million metric tons, part of this liquidity could perhaps now go into supporting of a greater financing model, which includes with FRA, purchasing intervention and grain market activities. So the most important aspect in the case that the farmers and national food security can be secured, this also creates a potential risk also of credit risks if we have too much banking, sector funding becomes more linked to Zambia's central bank, also central government-related activities.
We now take our first set of commercials, but do join us for more news when we come back. Do stay tuned.
Voting is one of the few moments where we all have a voice.
One person, one vote.
No titles, no status.
Just a choice.
It's not about doing nothing.
It's about showing up.
Because your vote matters.
It's easy.
It's important.
It's ours.
Count me in.
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 Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
It's morning again in Zambia. Today, millions of our children will go to school more than ever before in the history of our country, because free education is opening doors that were once closed. Today, with over 40 million kwacha to spend, communities will build clinics, improve schools, drill boreholes, and transform lives using the increased CDF. Men and women will walk through markets and stations freely, without fear or intimidation from cadres. But the journey is not over, and we still have more work to do.
We've started the change. Now let's finish the job. On the 13th of August 2026, vote for Hakainde Hichilema as President of the Republic of Zambia. And let us continue to move Zambia forward together.
Welcome back to the Camnet News Desk. We continue with the main news. Governance activist Charlotte Salivagenes has praised political leaders who reject questionable sources of campaign financing, saying Zambia needs principled leadership that puts the country's interests ahead of money and personality politics. Speaking during a live address on social media, Mrs. Ness said she respected political figures who had refused financial support they considered inappropriate, describing such decisions as a sign of progressive leadership. Mrs. Ness urged Zambians to look beyond political loyalties and carefully consider the future they want for the country. She also criticized what she described as the growing tendency to attack political opponents on personal grounds instead of debating their policies and ideas. Referring to comments made about NRPUP presidential candidate Brian Mundubile's financial status, Mrs. Ness said describing a qualified lawyer as broke was disrespectful and distracted voters from the real issues facing the nation. Mrs. Ness further challenged sections of the media to avoid sensational reporting that focuses on personal attacks rather than substantive political debate. She said the media should promote informed public discourse instead of amplifying narratives that undermine issue-based politics. The governance activist also stressed the importance of citizen participation in politics, saying leaders must engage people directly and build political movements around the interests of ordinary Zambians. According to Mrs. Ness, Zambia's democracy will only mature when political competition is driven by ideas, integrity, and accountability rather than personalities, insults, and the influence of money.
I had no problems. But I asked them why they wanted to work with us and not with the Honorable Harry Kalaba. They told me, Madam, it's because Harry Kalaba is letting us to pay for travels or some meetings when we went around, and we don't have. Then I said, and then he further said, he's refusing. Morning, sir. Morning, thank you. He's refusing to get funding from some Indians who are ready to fund his campaign. But they wanted to give him funds because they wanted some mines. Do you know what I told them? I clapped for Bahari Kalaba. I said, I respect, hats off for Bakalaba for saying no to that kind of money. That is progressive leadership.
Bishop Billy Mfula has called on political parties, candidates, and citizens to accept the outcome of Zambia's August 13 general elections, saying peace and national unity must take precedence over political interests. Addressing the advocates of the declaration of Zambia as a Christian nation ahead of the elections, Bishop Mfula urged the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, to conduct the polls with justice, fairness, integrity, and transparency to strengthen public confidence in the electoral process. He reminded Zambians that political parties are temporary, but the nation endures. Bishop Mfula appealed to citizens not to allow political competition to divide the country, saying Zambians will continue living together long after the elections. He urged both the ruling party and the opposition to respect the will of the electorate by accepting the election results, whether they win or lose. The bishop said citizens whose preferred candidates are not elected should also accept the outcome, describing such conduct as a sign of wisdom, maturity, and a foundation for lasting peace. Bishop Mfula further said leadership should evolve beyond political office, arguing that former presidents should continue serving the country as fathers of the nation by offering experience and national counsel rather than remaining trapped in partisan politics. He also called on all leaders and citizens to uphold the values of the Christian Nation Declaration and work together to ensure Zambia holds peaceful, credible, and transparent elections.
Fellow countrymen and women, today we gather once again to fulfill that responsibility during this critical period as Zambia prepares for the elections on the 13th of August, when the people will choose those who lead our nation. First and foremost, our God is a God of justice. Therefore, we call upon the Electoral Commission of Zambia to conduct these elections with the highest standards of justice, fairness, integrity, and transparency. It is vital that the Commission remains above reproach in executing its constitutional mandate. Doing so will strengthen the confidence of the Zambian people in our electoral process and reaffirm our commitment to free and fair election. Our fellow citizens, as campaigns reach their peak, let us always remember that before we belong to any political party, we are first and foremost Zambians. Zambia is greater than any political party. Political parties come and go, but Zambia remains.
The Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, has warned that more than 84 districts could face severe flooding and drought during the 2026-2027 El Nino season, and has urged authorities and communities to step up preparedness measures. DMMU National Coordinator Norman Chipakupaku said northern Zambia is expected to experience heavy rainfall that could trigger flooding, while southern parts of the country are likely to face prolonged dry spells. Mr. Chipakupaku called for stronger investments in water storage infrastructure, protection of dams, drilling of boreholes, and the promotion of drought-resistant crops such as sorghum and millet to reduce the impact of the anticipated weather conditions. He also urged authorities to position food and grain reserves closer to vulnerable communities to ensure timely access to relief supplies if disasters occur. Mr. Chipakupaku said key sectors, including energy, health, agriculture, and infrastructure, must strengthen their resilience plans to minimize disruptions caused by the expected extreme weather. He further commended the media for raising public awareness about disaster preparedness, saying early planning and resilience remain essential to protecting lives, livelihoods, and national development. The DMMU has encouraged communities across the country to remain alert and work with relevant authorities to prepare for the anticipated El Nino impacts. And that particular story takes us to our second and last set of commercials. But do join us for sports and international news when we come back. Do stay tuned.
Did you know that you've got the right to complain against any radio or television broadcast? Did you also know that every radio or television station has an obligation to respond and address your complaints when aggrieved? The first step is to complain to the station not more than 3 months after the broadcast took place. It is expected that the station will respond reasonably to you, that is within 14 days. If not satisfied, then escalate your problem to the Independent Broadcasting Authority.
We're at Mass Media Complex, Ali King Carter Road,
PO Box 32475, Lusaka, or call us on +260 211 250589, or visit our website at www.iba.org.zm.
IBA, promoting ethical and professional broadcasting.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Applications for the National Primary School Debate Competition are now open. Collect your form at your nearest district headquarters.
You need to apply for this.
Me?
Yes, you, Chipo.
But I am just a cattle boy from the village.
There is nothing small about being a cattle boy. If you never knock, the door will never open. There was another boy, like you, Chipo. He had nothing but the cattle and the long days. He left the cattle and he climbed. He asked for the hardest job in the country. 2006, he knocked. 2008, 2011, 2015, 2016. Still, it would not open. And they put him behind a door of their own. He waited there, Chipo, and he did not stop believing the door would open. Then one day he stood up. He went to the door and he knocked the first time. And then he knocked the second time. And in 2021, the door opened. And when the door opened, the real work began. 860 kilometers of new feeder roads and 11,000 more health workers, 30,000 new teachers in a single year. And when school was made free, the children came back, 2.5 million, the biggest numbers we have ever seen. All that because one cattle boy decided to knock on the door. If you never knock, the door will never be open to you.
Shikulu, I will go get the forms.
That's my boy.
On the 13th of August 2026, vote for Hakainde Hichilema as President of the Republic of Zambia. And let's continue to move Zambia forward together.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodland, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Thank you so much for still joining us on the Camnet News Desk. And now in international news. Nationals from 50 countries, including 30 in Africa, will face security deposits of up to $20,000 when applying for certain business and tourist visas under a permanent visa bond program announced by the United States. Officials said the measure aims to curb visa overstays, but critics warn it could deter legitimate travelers. The U.S. Department of State has made permanent a visa bond program requiring certain applicants from 50 countries to post security deposits of up to $20,000 before receiving a visa. The rule took effect on August 3, 2026 and applies to applicants seeking B1 business and B2 tourist visas. Consular officials may require a bond as a condition for issuing a visa, with the deposit forfeited if the traveler violates the terms of their stay after entering the United States. Here's a roundup of international stories courtesy of Africa News.
The United States is making its visa bond program permanent, requiring some visitors to pay security deposits of up to $20,000 before receiving a visa. The new rule takes effect on August 3, 2026 and applies to certain applicants for B1 business and B2 tourist visas from 50 countries, including 30 in Africa. Under the policy, the consular officers can require applicants to post a bond of $10,000, $15,000 or $20,000. The money will be returned if travelers comply with the terms of their stay, but will be forfeited if they overstay or violate visa conditions. The program expands on a pilot launched in 2025, with U.S. officials saying it helped reduce visa overstays. But critics argue the high deposits could put travel to the United States out of reach for many people and hurt tourism-dependent businesses that rely on international visitors. A magnitude 5.5 earthquake struck near Egypt's city of Suez early Monday, shaking buildings across the country and waking residents in Cairo and other cities. The tremor hit about 40 kilometers north of Suez at around 3 a.m., prompting authorities to activate nationwide emergency response plans. Officials say there were no immediate reports of casualties or major damage, while the Egyptian Red Crescent urged people to avoid old and unstable buildings. Health Minister Khalid Abdel Ghaffar ordered ambulance services to remain on maximum alert. Strong earthquakes are rare in Egypt, where the deadliest modern quake in 1992 killed more than 500 people. Algerian prosecutors say the driver of a bus that plunged into a ravine, killing 28 people, was under the influence of drugs and speeding at the time of the crash. Preliminary findings released on Sunday show the bus was traveling at nearly 122 kilometers per hour on a road with a 60 kilometers per hour speed limit. Investigators also found 2 psychotropic pills in the driver's pocket and say the vehicle was carrying 64 passengers, well above its authorized capacity of 51. The crash, which occurred on Friday near Bomed, also left 36 people injured. President Abdelmajid Tebboune has vowed that those responsible will face justice. Road safety authorities say human error, including speeding and dangerous driving, remain the leading cause of fatal crashes in the country, where nearly 3,840 people died in traffic accidents last year.
And finally, in sports news this evening, Zambia's women national team midfielder NLS Piri says the Copper Queens have moved on from their defeat to Nigeria and are fully focused on securing victory against Malawi on Wednesday. Piri has urged Zambian fans to continue rallying behind the team as they prepare for the crucial encounter, saying the players have learned valuable lessons from their previous match. The Copper Queens suffered a difficult outing against Nigeria, with Piri admitting that the team worked hard but could not get the desired result. She said the team remains determined to bounce back, stressing that every opponent deserves respect and no match should be taken lightly. Piri added that all teams in the competition are strong competitors, making it important for the Copper Queens to maintain focus and fight for maximum points in every game. The midfielder has since called on supporters to stand with the Copper Queens as they seek a positive result against Malawi. The match against Malawi presents Zambia with an opportunity to recover from the Nigeria setback and strengthen their campaign.
Bola ya Nigeria senze tize but tinakwanisa vamitinga chitenaize ero tinaruza and tungo senze rachepa tuwa mistake tungono pamne tinapanga mbola ya Nigeria so tafunga cha working hard tikanga na chances funga tayo zinisa first half especially first half tinkana na maningi ma chance tifunga tayo zinisa and working hard pari icho. Kwa tuwa mistake tuwana kama tungono tumaria sometimes teziwala kama position chani so sala discipline ma position so zafunga ta working hard akwa next game tukashite deliver ku sense sako vitina sense first half second half enough sache ye jari goinza bola tilonga ndishina nengisati tonke bad but kusevenza kwa hivyo tina sevenza ina vezoni kanoni kato echintu tichifunisisa but Napeska che taruza jabola but koni kati lizoni kati tifunisisa win so tafunga cha working hard pa next game akwa tukashite deliver ma result ya mwisho po na game kulbe timu hizi sufungo shika timu yonse andaleti funga cha working hard wati game ya Malawi maybe next game na every series ni yokosa so tafunga ta working hard no kambisa na pamna salira mzako wampushinga pamna wana na uchasalira wampushinga tuzafunga working chepa mozad yakwa tukateke maximum 3 points have to ashite container mara utunga tukastay ya kuyazika but kona kwanga ninaona so but simple chitache underrate okay timu yonse bate acho bino ya Malawi so zafunga cha working hard funga kama tipati ukusha ni wana weakness uko na wewe wana maybe mamana tela na Nigeria bazabura na game plan na mamana tela na Nigeria sinja mamana zabura tele nice sasa zafunga tu hard yakwe bati tukapeze 3 point ai win ball but zafunga working hard 9 yakwe bati game hapa Wednesday at least ngachokeko na goal assist kwa timu fans wonse tipempa kulimo pitilizani kusupport and just deliver nice result bola ya Wednesday yestikana yatoka hapo tinaruza tinata disappoint but pitilizani zote mamne matsapotera at least ngatipasa mola umaona bamne vimashtika so mpitiliza support za kupasa good result bola ya Wednesday za working hard as a team so tanimbe mpako chiri kuli mama support pitilizani zote na mtima wao not support umozi.
And that sporting item brings us to the end of this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But before we go, a recap of stories that made headlines. ZAFOD warns disability inclusion lags ahead of 2026 elections. Police hunt NYIMBA man accused of raping and impregnating stepdaughter. Economist warns BOZ liquidity boost may bypass private sector. Our international headline, 30 African countries included in permanent visa bond scheme. Our sports headline, Copper Queens shift focus to Malawi clash after Nigeria defeat. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. It reads, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith." That ends the Bible reading, and that concludes this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But dear viewer, like always, be reminded that Camnet TV is not just another channel. Now showing on Topstar channel 106, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and on the Kenstream app. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. Good evening and God bless.